Mark here for Wisdom and Knowledge 5, and I bring on a special guest from Canada. She's been on my podcast a couple times before. She really understands humanity and, how to take care of yourself and how, this world, you know, the powers that be have no control over you, so stand for yourself. And from Canada, I welcome Caroline Bergin.
Hi, Mark. How's it going? Nice to see you again. This is our
Yes,
third
very,
third
very nice to see
visit.
you too. A lot of things have changed or more of the same since the last time we've had, one of these podcast episodes. That's for sure.
Yeah, which is a good indication as to how things progress and evolve,
Hmm.
like without us, having control over everything. I mean, I remember the first time I chatted with you, I was so gung ho. It was just almost at the beginning of, I think, Trump's reelection, or I don't know, but I remember just flaring up with,
Hmm.
anxiety and fear and like we've got to, rally together and organize the troops. And now I feel like I've come through that a wiser, more grounded, more prepared, soulful, heart-centered person. So yeah, it's good to be seen and to be in in one form and not depressed, not crying, and because it's been hard
Hmm.
to navigate. But I feel like we've arrived in a new place, all of us. We had to go through that for some reason. I feel like we had to see who the snakes were, and we had to stand in our own light. And I don't know about you, but I had to let go of a lot of people that were just baggage and
Sure.
hanger-oners that weren't aligned with my values. I've been a
Hmm.
lone wolf. Like it's been quite isolating, but I am like nurtured by the fact that I'm not selling out. I'm not selling out to fear. I'm not selling out to my least favorite saying is it is what it is. I just like,
Hmm.
it in my life, it's not, it is what it is. We have autonomy. We can lead our own life. We can, so anyway, I'm feeling okay. I don't watch the news and I have not been. I'm being very discerning about my Instagram feed. I try to stay
Hmm.
on a positive trajectory. I'm an educator. I see little kids all the time. I cannot bring them the noise, I can't. I have to be clear with them. I have to be grounded. I want to be like a beacon of light for them, because it's their future. And if they can't look to us um, as adults that can manage the insanity, which to me
Hmm.
is the media, right?
Yeah.
If we don't turn it off and if we don't act like adults and do protect them, you know, I mean, there's crazy amounts of diagnoses going up for kids. A lot of parents not knowing what to do, but the parents are ungrounded themselves, and they're getting into this rhetoric of like, who's telling the truth? Where are you at?
Hmm.
Where are
Yeah.
you at in your own life? Are you taking time to eat well? Are you resting well? A chaotic mind is going to attract chaos. And I know I don't know about you, but I have heard some of the craziest deep state dark web conspiracies out there. And it is bananas. Like,
Hmm.
and so if you're not sleeping and you're not eating well and you're not taking time in nature, you're probably batshit crazy right now.
Yeah,
And
for
those are
sure.
the people that they say that they're feeding. They're like it's gonna lower your immune system. It's
Hmm.
gonna make you sick. It's you're not gonna have clarity. You're not gonna make good decisions for you and your family. So they're saying it's a way of, you know, this whole media attack. psyche attack, um, is a way of taking people down, you know? So I don't want to go there because that's scary. I'm still a
Hmm.
the chemtrails have been insane, Mark. I don't know
Oh,
about
same. Yeah. Here's a funny story. Is last week there was one day when it was completely smoky, like forest fires type smoky, and we're like, what's going on? And that now media, I'm like you, I don't watch the news or anything, but I tried to look it up just to see what they were spinning. They said it was from South Carolina fires, forest fires. We asked. There was a sheriff that I bumped into at my work, and he said, "Oh, some crazy guy started a fire." Why do they always say it? They say it in Canada, they say it here, California. Some crazy guy, decided to start a fire. That's all rhetoric. You know what I mean? That's not what happened at all. I don't know what happened, but it cleared up within a day. But it was completely like, what happened? You wake up and it's like smoke filled, and I think uh, you'll agree is that we can't control that they're poisoning our food supply. They're doing this, they're doing that, they're the chemtrails, but we can be counteractive as to how we can maintain our own health, if you know what I mean.
100%. Like I don't have these conversations much anymore. So this is a unusual because I can't engage anymore. I used to love it, man. I used to
Mm-hmm.
love it, like bring it on. And now, I mean, I admire you and I empathize with you, and I think you're very courageous for doing what you're doing. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you want to talk about it, you want to expose things. My cousin, who's probably fairly the same, he's doing the same thing, but and maybe this is like a masculine versus feminine, and how we're dealing with all of this, right? And maybe it is a masculine thing to like expose and expose and like for as like, and I'm not saying like it's we have both masculine and feminine, so but my feminine side is really what is holding it together for me right now. Like it's really about nurturing, not going down the rabbit hole. I mean, so in the environment, I mean, I was not well last year when I moved back from South America and I saw what was going on up in Canada. I mean, I was down there for 3 years, so I was so disconnected to what was happening in Canada. I came back and I was just like, what the fuck has been going on here? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I had a conversation with a lady yesterday at school, another teacher, and like she probably thought I was nuts, and I'm past that now. I'm like, I don't care if you think I'm nuts, like it's right in your face. And she's, oh wow, I'm gonna have to look into that. And she goes, that means we'd be breathing that stuff in, eh? And I'm like, yeah. And like, if it's in your food, then what puts it past them? Now, I'm gonna try to, because it is overwhelming, right? So we've got all this stuff going on with these like intentional forest fires, like things that were happening in Maui. Remember, we were
Yep.
last talking. So it was like Maui, and then these floodings, and then all this stuff, and then yeah, it's always the crazy guy. Nobody's answering to it. So I mean, my understanding of all of that now more so is yeah, these dark forces. This force is working against the earth, and supposedly they I don't know, man, from reptilians to satanists. I don't know, I don't have time to fucking figure out what's going on. All I do know is it does feel like the earth is under attack,
Mm-hmm.
supposedly for their resources and for the earth's resources, and then the other thing would be the control of consciousness, the control of humans, for us not to evolve. We've already evolved. They ain't nothing gonna get us,
Yep.
okay? So the best thing that we can do is keep being our authentic self, keep supporting each other. The world is waking up. It is waking up. It has been. Like when I was 19 years of age, which was quite a while ago, 20 something years ago, I felt so alone in this world. I just thought, what the F is going on? Like, nobody is speaking about love, and nobody like is working together. Where's the harmony? Like, so there was something really sad inside of me. I felt very like we were called names like hippie. We were ostracized. We were hurt. Like it was, I was like, where did I get dropped off to? So my point being, since then, we're all like almost one big happy family now. Like it's almost like we're all getting on board together. Not to say we have to align exactly, but we understand like the earth's important,
Mm-hmm.
organizing each other and being good community is important. Taking care of the children is important,
Yep.
that we are under some sort of fucking weird attack, like in regards to we have to be discerning, we have to be aware, like stop
Mm-hmm.
eating McDonald's and then like going to sleep. Like those that food has the sleepy drug in it, right? Like after you eat turkey. I mean,
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
anyways, it's hard for me to pinpoint like the one thing, but all I know is that things are changing. We are waking up more than ever. I have been like my guides and this divine intervention. The clearer I get, and the more I fall in love with my dream and my idea of not mine, but I think we all have this sense of like not the promised land, but it's almost like we know that there's better, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's strange. It's like this is not what we know. So the more I keep that alive, the more like it's almost like I can channel good vibes, and I'm opening up to more love, and not
Mm-hmm.
love of an individual. It's humanitarian love.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's the most beautiful experience ever, right? It's
Yeah.
like here I thought I was looking for happily ever after, and meanwhile it's like this grand staged like humanitarian party where we're
Mm-hmm.
all like yay, and so yeah, I just got to keep it real for what I know, right? Like I saw clips on Coachella the other day, so because sometimes I think about I went to a lot of amazing festivals like when I was in my 20s,
Yeah.
and now they're all the rage and like whatever. They're now comparing Coachella to Glasgow, and now there's a big rivalry between the two. Anyways, long story short is that is such a marketed party. Like I'm not talking about that. Like they just did this breakdown on how much money they made, and it was insane, like 200 million or something. I mean,
No, I believe it. Mm-hmm.
most festivals go bust, it's
Yeah.
just like, or it's like, wow, that was a great party, but no money was made.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, what's my point is we have to discern what is false, like what's the false like reality, the false like what they're because it's the Indigo Girls, which nobody knows who they are, but anyway,
No, yeah, I know exactly
they
who you're
said
talking
this
about. A lot of my
line. They
listeners
said,
probably do.
selling. Yeah, cool. I'm glad. Yeah, good. They're great. And they said selling spirituality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, so again, it's the smoke and mirrors versus like what's true.
Yeah.
And right now is this quiet awakening. And a lot of like people online are making a lot of money selling a lot of ideas from the vulnerability of people who are just waking up,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people are spending a lot of money. You don't need to spend a lot of money. You need to spend time with yourself.
Yeah.
You have to truly invest in yourself and like yourself. You
Mm-hmm.
know, find out who you are. Find out, your favorite colors. Do you like to paint or do you like
Mm-hmm.
to draw? Do you like seafood or do you prefer vegetarian? Whatever it is I think one of the most like successful men, I don't know who he was or whatever, but he said the best investment you could make is making yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and again, be the change you want to see in the world. Is like, and you uh, don't show up half-ass. You know what I mean? Like if you
Mm-hmm.
expect the world to be something that it's not, you can't be something that you're not.
Yeah.
If you're half-ass, that's what's going to come back is half-ass. If you truly authentically want good things to happen, be that in your own being. That doesn't mean you have to make a lot of money, but be fucking honest about it, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, I don't know where I'm going with all this, but this
No,
is a
I get exactly what you're saying, and you don't need some guru or things. They have, all these things out, like people like Tony Robbins and stuff, and then people like that are now pushing AI and like it's insane. Like you and I, we get, yeah, exactly about the money, but then there's other people, like you mentioned the Indigo Girls. One of the members, one of the primary members of Salt and Pepper is out there on social media. I'm sure you heard, and she's exposing exactly what's going on. She's not trying to make money off of it.
no. No, you're right. And that's what's beautiful about this whole, like, I don't know what it is. Is it a theatrical play? But we're seeing, and don't get me wrong, it's really hard. Like I can't even go on. Okay, so this is an example is Justin Bieber, right? He's Canadian.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He
Mm-hmm.
was born and raised from down the street, right? Sweet
Yeah.
kid. And then there's all this stuff coming out that he's one of them, and then he's got association. Like one of them just means I don't know, he's
Part of
eating
the
fucking
club or whatever.
babies
Yeah.
and raping people. Like, oh my God, are we allowed to even say that? Um, but so then the P. Diddy whole thing, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there was that, and then I just was like, oh my God, like is he not a good guy? And it's not about good guy, bad guy. It's just interesting. Each person has the freedom, the free will to show up who they and share who they truly are, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we, as the observers, the audience, we get to choose who we're listening to. Now, the other thing that I will say though is that these younger people, like I didn't realize how obsolete they make. Like ageism is alive and well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't matter to the billionaires, right? My
No.
my imprint on like on finances and consumerism is nothing compared to these young tweens and 20 something year olds. So they are running the world and they're doing it in such a obnoxious way. Like they're all mini porn stars now. Like I'm
Mm-hmm.
watching a show right now. It's vulgar. Like the more you expose your nudity, the more you like fake fuck online. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're going to get popularity. I mean, people are selling their souls, literally. I mean, I don't know about you. That has never been something that I've even considered, but it possibly is true, like that we live on a planet that's shared with, people who have the means to, to sell people's soul. I remember growing up and people were like, oh, he sold his soul to the devil. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
man, that's scary shit, like
Mm-hmm.
never really taking it in. And then now I'm just like, holy fuck, like that was all going on,
Mm-hmm.
and
It
it
really
is
was.
still going
Mm-hmm.
on. And it is still going on. So bless those young people. Please be mindful of what you're doing. I don't know who I'm talking to, but if I could give a shout out to the young people, they're using you to
Big
make,
time.
yeah, like they're using you and like you matter. Your soul is beyond like beauty is everything. And if you sell your soul or even like not even sign the dotted line with fucking blood or whatever they're doing, your
Mm-hmm.
actions, right? Little kids are seeing you. Like, what are you contributing? So, anyways, I'm pissed off about all that because the power the young people have,
Mm-hmm.
the way they're being manipulated. And like, I have a daughter, and for the most part, I'm grateful that, but yeah, that I don't know, man. I sound like an old person all cranky about the young people, but I just think the sexualizing of everything is like to me that is
Mm-hmm.
like an indicator of, I wouldn't go so far as saying evil, but almost like if I could go back, man, I would protect my body, my beautiful self. I would say no. I would say fuck off. Like, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful female human being. Have some goddamn respect. Like, I don't know. I gave up my power thinking that, if somebody was going to take care of me and protect me. We're the ones that need to take care of ourselves. We need to like find good people, that don't want to use us. And we need to know the difference. So, anyways, I just like the world is waking up. Yes, and it's gonna be messy. It's messy.
Yeah, that's a very
It
good
is
point. Mm-hmm.
messy, you know.
There's just so much. I mean, I actually was in the industry as a fly on the wall. When I lived in LA, I was on TV shows. I've done a TV show here way back, way before I lived here just as an extra. So I've seen the ins and outs of Hollywood. I've sat in scenes next to people who are part of the club, like John Stamos and, from Full House and uh, all the other stuff he's done and things like that, and I know exactly what you're talking about. Wanted to, pursue that path. And luckily after like 10 years or whatever of doing it, I'm like, no more. I just, it had no interest in me because it wasn't about family values. It wasn't about entertainment. It was about divide and conquer. You know what I mean? It really was. And one thing I will say about like things like sports, at least in that realm, you do see some people, that aren't programmed, in that realm, and they can be a difference maker for the youth, difference maker for
I
people.
don't know, but I don't know. I think it's all corrupt. I think
Yeah.
it really is like, because I mean, last year this time there was five hockey players. Um, the verdict was they were not guilty of like a
Oh,
sexual.
wow. Okay.
And what I learned from that was that there's so much protection for athletes, around sexual assault, sexual harassment. I mean, there's been enough because fame and fortune seems to rot us.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's something about it that rots the soul. It doesn't mean it's every single person. So, but I think anything on the grand scheme, like grand scale, getting paid 18 to $100 million a year to fucking kick a ball around, like
Good
fuck
point.
you.
Mm-hmm.
There's children suffering. Like, I love sports, dude. I was big into sports, and like
Mm-hmm.
I'm an athletic family. I love it. I think it's great. But once it gets to that place where your secrets are being covered up, you're doing fucked up things behind the scenes. Like, I mean, I don't know, man. Exposing the truth is probably not the direction I want
Yeah.
to go. Um, I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, I mean, we have chemtrails right above our heads and people can't even see it. So
No.
getting into like how dirty sports is probably not the best thing, but and
What
yeah.
about something? Okay, here's something though. Especially you're Canadian. They just had the couple months ago the Winter Olympics. Do you think everyone who's an Olympian is Freemason or part of a club or something? Because there's people who, are in events and their bottom line and they're not. And you know what they were airing here? I found it because, since I'm a podcaster, and since it sparks my interest, I was breaking down like the games and the events, and they were having commercial after commercial. Can you please pay to like they were saying donate to the fund so you can fund Olympians, and it's like okay, and then you have people for competing for Israel who live in the United States, who New York, they have able to practice law in New York, and this was like in luge or whatever competition it was, bobsled, luge, something. And it's like our taxpayer dollars are going towards that, but we can't even fund our lower level athletes. It's and
Yeah.
our that's another thing too. I don't want to get too far into this, but why should humanity's taxpayer dollars go towards bombing people? And how is people in here and that's another reason why I think individuals across the world are waking up because they're like, no, this isn't right. You see it in UK, you see it all over.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a book that I got like years and years ago. It was pretty wild. It was The Money Game, Strategies to a Game You Can Never Win. So, strategies to a game you can never win. This fucking game has been set up from the get-go, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the individual athletes. I mean, I know some athletes from the West Coast, from Whistler. Where I live on the West Coast is high performance. I taught kids that their parents are trying to get their kids to go to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
For an athlete, that seems to be the measurable achievement that they want. I don't blame them. It's the organization, it's how
Yes.
they're
Mm-hmm.
represented, why we have this. It's all about profit and money
Mm-hmm.
and who's behind the symbols, who's behind the flags, who's behind the fucking labels, who's
Yes.
behind it. We live in what's that movie with the guys with the sunglasses? I
They
didn't
live.
They live.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. We live in that
Yeah.
reality. It's like in our fucking faces. And I don't know about you, but the more I wake up, the more it's like, wow, this is really
Mm-hmm.
happening, man. Like, it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like, I'm just like, boom, boom, shell, this, that. Like, it's just
Mm-hmm.
signs everywhere. And like, so we have to find our own freedom, and we do need to stick together and organize together and stop fighting this, because the only way this will dismantle is if we stop paying attention to it, or at least giving it as much power
Yes.
as we have been. So like, Sephora's and freaking Lululemons, like, it's insane
Mm-hmm.
how much power they have over these kids, man. Like, these kids that I know I'm all over the place, and I'll go back to what
No, you're not at all. That's right on
but
point.
it's the money, right? It's the
Mm-hmm.
money,
Yeah.
manipulation, Stockholm syndrome. Like, I mean, I say Stockholm syndrome in the sense that like a lot of these organizations, if you really look, like corporations, if you look behind what they represent, they are fucking killing and genocide, killing kids. You know,
Yes,
they,
they
they
support.
like,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like if you broke it down and you actually if I said to a 12-year-old, did you know your money goes towards bombing little kids? They have
Mm-hmm.
one, they wouldn't have a clue. Two, they would feel probably shame or guilt. They would be like, shit, man, I don't want to be
Yep.
a part of that. So it's what's the alternative? How do we replace this need to be in the world and not lose our youngness, but not
Mm-hmm.
be supporting this insanity?
Yeah.
But they've got us by the balls, excuse my language, because this has been going on for so fucking long. The best thing that we can count on is what goes up must come down.
Mm-hmm.
Empires, fucking, they dissolve, they
Yeah.
break down, tragedy happens. And what side of the downfall are you going to be on? Are you going to be on the side where you're holding on to the flag of the US, being like, no? Or are you going to be able to stand in freedom of being a
Mm-hmm.
human being on a planet that has been experiencing this stuff for a long time? Like, so it's anyways, I honestly don't have these conversations for a reason, because one, I'm saying way too much. And I will say, I'm not afraid, but this idea of like the US checking our phones now
Yeah.
to what are we supporting? I mean, we were concerned about our identity back in the day when we were doing LSD and talking about Big Brother and shit. And I won't lie. There was a part where of my life where I was kind of scared. I was like, fuck, man, I know too much. Now, I don't want I love my life. I love life and I'm meant to
Mm-hmm.
be here. So I don't want to compromise myself for being stupid on Instagram. I don't
No,
even
I
need
feel you.
fucking
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, right? I don't need this shit. I just need my own sovereignty and my own freedom of self, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
my energy needs rest, good food, and nature. And with that, I can emanate fucking amazing energy. We
Mm-hmm.
are energy. So
Sure.
we just need to take care of ourselves. Everything that's going on is wrong, man. It is wrong to
Yep.
the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of me shouting into I don't know, an echo chamber, um, I'm going to walk peacefully, as
Mm-hmm.
peaceful as I can. I'm going to
Yeah.
spend my days on this earth, maybe writing poetry and doing art, trying to laugh more. I'm not going to let a very corrupt, toxic system take my fucking freedom, man.
No.
And my
Mm-hmm.
freedom, Braveheart. I love Braveheart. What's the line? I always forget, but it's like
Yeah.
they can take our, but they can't take our freedom.
Exactly.
It's
Mm-hmm.
how you show up, man. And we might have to fucking duke up, right? And we may have to shut our systems down, which is Instagram and Wi-Fi's, and we may have to learn how to sacrifice and live without for a little while, but they can't take our freedom, man. They can't.
No, and they may very well take down social medias like they've already done with TikTok. TikTok US is not TikTok the same as the TikTok in the world. It's a completely separate entity owned by, the Zionist. Oh, and no, I don't, I was banned for sharing my podcast clips before that even happened, and I have no interest in that. I'm not getting back on.
What's your shirt say?
Oh, Fighting Illini. It's a college, Illinois, which actually they got rid of their logo way back, the Indian. Saying even though it had native roots, they want it. That's a whole nother story. But they want to get rid of all these, you know, the real history. You know what I mean? Of the
Well, it's
natives and stuff.
unfortunately it's exploitation, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's this confusing ownership, and then they assimilate. Like it's happening here and it's ridiculous. Like indigenous people, I mean, I can't speak. I'm not indigenous. I work closely with indigenous people,
Yeah.
and I have the utmost respect for the traditional ways because they walk, not they,
Mm-hmm.
the philosophy, the way, because not, anyways, it's like not all vegetarian are good people, you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, and I'm not saying, but the point of the matter is that, yeah, so they're taking it's cultural appropriation, right? They're taking beautiful ways of what they did to the pagans, man. They
Mm-hmm.
fucking burned them to this on the stake, burn women, powerful motherfucking women who knew how to heal their community, feed their community, be in union and communion with the land, were and burn them to the stake because they were too powerful. They were giving away the life is free, man. Like
Yeah.
the earth is abundant for a reason. Life is a gift, and then I don't know who or what, but whatever this energy was, did not want us to have access to the freedom of our own beings, our own medicines, our own well-being, our own food. And so yeah, they it goes on and on and on throughout history. So with the First Nations, it's like, yeah, with the native people, native people are even confused. They're fighting amongst each other that are like,
Mm-hmm.
I like the Redskins. I don't want the Redskins. And it's like, you know, it's not my place to, but okay, this is a silly thing. Okay, so I'm part Portuguese. My family came to Canada. I'm first generation Canadian. And when I was younger, we would go to Portugal and I would come back and tell my friends, like, oh, I was in Portugal for the summer. What'd you do? Oh, we went to summer camp in Portugal, like pork and cheese. Ew.
Oh,
Like,
gee, yeah.
and they would make fun of us. And it was so sad for me because I
Mm-hmm.
had the best summers ever, man. Like fishing with the fishermen, going to the beach every day, fresh bread on the back of my cousin's moped, and like going to discos and like just the best time ever. And these
Sure.
ignorant kids who didn't know anything about my culture, because God forbid you know anything, right? Because the Americans, Canadians, like really we're not that different. It's very like Western centered and self centered, and I'm the
Yep.
most fucking important thing ever. Like when I teach about multiculturalism. I teach about you know, where do you come from? I'm Canadian. No, you're not, kid.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like that one. My mommy says I'm Canadian. I'm like, where are your grandparents from? I don't know. Find out.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you okay with like being assimilated and being whitewashed and like, thinking McDonald's is a culture? It's not, guys.
No.
And then
Mm-hmm.
we get upset at other people wearing hijabs and whatever, and that's a whole other question. But I don't know another. But anything of difference, we're like threatened by it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's all part of this propaganda system of just like, yeah, us fighting each other, being ignorant. But anyways, so Portugal, right? Finally, now it's like the most visited fucking place in the world, and everybody
Oh, I'm
wants
sure. Mm-hmm.
Portuguese. And so they have these tarts, these wonderful tarts that I grew up with, and the pastéis natas, and they're traditional tarts of Portugal. Well, Tim Hortons is selling them,
Oh, jeez.
calling them custard tarts, not giving any credit
No.
where it needs to be. And then you see these people taking patenting things that they have no right to patent, or
Mm-hmm.
in anyways that's gone too far. But what I'm trying to say is we must remember our roots, go go back to where we came from, reclaim our power and authenticity,
Mm-hmm.
reclaim our connection to the higher worlds. Know who the fuck you are, to thine own self be true,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because otherwise, you're a carbon copy, man. You're just a carbon copy and you're a pawn to the system.
Yep.
So that's how you know the difference. Is just like, are you authentically yourself? Are you showing up in your right, even if it's going to piss people off? Or are you, worried about your algorithm, worried about your likes and dislikes, and um anyways, you're authentic, bro. I just really appreciate the fact that you keep going. You want to, I mean,
Sure.
I'm going to put this back to you. So, what's your ultimate intention with all of this, do you think? Wisdom and knowledge, and like cuz I love you, bro. I think you're great. Like
Mm-hmm.
I see your posts. I see your consistency. Like what is your wish? What are you trying to do?
Just, wake up anyone I can and just share that we're not that much different. That's why I like to interview people from all over the world, all different spectrums, because, it's all what you get is it's all about humanity. And I get exactly what you're saying about the roots thing. And it's not, hey, Canadian flag this, American flag that, Portugal flag. No, it's your own roots. We are all, human beings living on this planet Earth. And I think one thing I do see, and I think you see too, is more people setting aside any cultural or anything differences and uniting for the same cause. Do you see that?
Absolutely, man. Like they're not showing us that. But like
No, they
I
would never show that in the media.
know, but
And I
it
know
is
you mentioned
absolutely
at the
beautiful.
beginning, remember you mentioned that you don't watch the news. Well, I would say if any of my listeners do watch the news, there's got to be a problem because, seriously, we shut that off years, decades ago.
Oh, it's so much lies. Like my dad, like, and this is a generational thing too, I
Mm-hmm.
think. Like my dad's a boomer, what the fuck, boomers? Like, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be a hater. I honestly don't, but like we're inheriting such ignorance, like
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't it be nice if we could actually trust what they were saying to be true? That would be nice, but guess what? We can't.
No.
We
Mm-hmm.
can't. And stop trying to self preserve and lie and say we're fucked and I'm crazy because I think the government is out to hurt us.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is not my truth, but I would be doing a disservice to my God of my understanding, to my life, if I took everything that came through the media as face value. I
Mm-hmm.
was given a beautiful brain, a beautiful heart to think about things, to discern.
Yep.
Don't be a monkey in a cage, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like explore, be curious, ask questions. And guess what? When you Google it, the first answer is not going to be the truth. It's
No.
going to be a filtered idea. You need to deep dive on things. You have to ponder things. You have to contemplate things. I'm at a point now where I realize I'm neurodivergent, which whatever. I mean, seems like everybody's neurodivergent, but I guess I'm not neurotypical. And what my superpower is being neurodivergent is I am a bullshit detector. I can hear it
Mm-hmm.
in the fucking voice. And I
Yeah.
know I'm not the only one, right? So we have the best spidey senses, And so my new like work moving forward is educating parents with neurodivergent kids, and like letting them know like your kids are mini superheroes, like let them feel, give them environments that they can thrive and blossom, listen to what they're saying. They're being genuine about things, protect them from the news, give them more time outside. But neurodivergent people, they feel more, they sense more, they need to be, and they love to be useful. They love to be useful. So
Mm-hmm.
don't use and abuse them, you know, see their value and have them contribute to, you know, good plans and things moving forward, right? Like unbelievable, like, so organizing either your household like or a garden or, give them anyways. I'm just like, I'm 49 years of age. I didn't know that I was neurodivergent or that I probably needed a lot more help when I was a kid. I couldn't advocate for myself because my parents were too busy doing their own thing. They were making money and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, I was struggling. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm so proud of myself, though, that I made it through. I made it through a fucked up education system that, you know, I survived. Many of us survived, and now it's our time to thrive. It's our time to thrive, to claim our indifference and to say, you know what? We don't like what we see is going on. We're going to speak our truth. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
advocate for the young people. We're going to stick together. We're going to support each other's businesses. Like, don't support businesses that are shitty,
No.
or that poison the earth, or like don't think about their sustainable, their what do you call it, like how they make things,
Mm-hmm.
like we have so much power. So waking up is one thing, and then what are you going to do with your wokeness, you
Yeah.
know enlightenment is, I mean, it's so wild how it's not what they say it is, right? It's once one, and it's obviously, my understanding is like levels, right? Like I've had maybe I don't know, maybe three or four kind of like epochs where I'm like, holy fuck, you go through this dark night of the soul, and then you're like, you evolve. And the evolution of self is like you just your perspective changes. You see things differently. Your heart is bigger. And I'll just leave you with this is like, any enlightened being, ascended masters, which just look that up. Follow those people, follow
Hmm.
ascended masters, read what Jesus truly did. Jesus came like not as like this savior and all this stuff. He was trying to give us a way of life. He was trying to direct us to sovereignty. He was trying to give us warnings about, what was going to come. And it was like, know thyself and you will know me, or you will know God, because we're all part of the same like energy, right? We can become each other. Like you anyways, so yeah, the ascended masters, but yeah, so bodhisattva actually means like the enlightened one. And to truly be an enlightened one is you can't just be enlightened and then just think you've got wings and there you are. Is a true warrior of enlightenment comes back to free the others. So they always come back to free the others. And I hear that that's what you're doing, Mark. You're like, you know and just remember though, like our job is not to necessarily, and this is just my opinion, take what you want and leave the rest, but
Hmm.
I've spent so many years, man, with the burden of the world on my back, like, and I thought that I was doing God's will, and then it ended up being martyrdom, man. It ended up being like a curse. And
Hmm.
I was fucking dying. And like I was carrying it. And I was like, how come this doesn't feel good? It feels burdensome and heavy. Because it's not my job to free people. It's my
Yeah.
job to truly be me in
Hmm.
all the ways that I can be. And it's to stop acting small and to speak out. And, that saying that says is like, who you are is when no one's watching. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah, I know what you
are
mean.
you truly the person that you think you are?
Hmm.
So when you walk by that piece of garbage in the beautiful fucking forest, do you pick it up? Is the question.
Hmm.
Anyways, it drives me crazy. I can only pick up so much, but it would be nice if everybody picked up a goddamn piece of fucking garbage every once in a while, or didn't throw it down on the ground to begin with. So
There
we
you
have a
go.
lot of
Hmm.
work to do, and yeah, waking up is messy. So get your freaking gloves on, not plastic gloves. Get your helmet on, get your boots on, and get to work. We need to get to work. It's not easy, and
No,
you're not going to find enlightenment, on the internet. It's
no, not at all. Hmm. Yeah.
big tangent there, Mark.
No. Well, I really appreciate you coming on as a guest, Caroline, again. You know, we are the difference makers in the world, so.
Yeah, we're the change we want to see. Don't give up.
Hmm.
Keep going. I will just say
Exactly.
one last thing. Um,
Sure.
so I mean, I'm a seeker, right? So I'm always kind of looking for the answer, and I've gone through a lot of different organizations of education and spirituality. But there's somebody who I admire, and he's somebody in the outdoor nature education field, and he just says keep moving. So
Hmm.
just keep moving, like, and that means physically, like get up, go for a walk, ride your bike, take the bus, just keep moving, keep doing something, you know, make a meal for yourself, take an Epsom salt bath, clean your fucking bathroom, whatever, just keep moving.
Exactly. Hmm.
Thanks, Mark.
Well, much love. I really appreciate it, and we will, be the ones, prevailing. So.